The next problems that we're going to look at have to do with the values of numbers in relation to 0 on a number line, as well as absolute values. They're very closely related ideas. When we're asked what the opposite of a number is, it means what is the opposite of that number in relation to 0. So this number is 10 units away from 0. The opposite of that is going to be 10 units away in the opposite direction, starting at 0. So the opposite of 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, is going to be 10 units in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have negative 10 is the opposite of 10. What is the opposite of negative 5? The same rule applies. Negative 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units away from 0. To find the opposite, I will go in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. The opposite of 0 is 0. 0 is its own opposite. And then next, what is the opposite of negative 4? This is a little trickier. We have to remember that we're not looking just at the opposite of negative 4, but the opposite of the opposite. How we can look at this on a number line is we have negative 4. The opposite of negative 4, because that's 4 points away from 0, is 1, 2, 3, 4. But we want to find the opposite of the opposite. This is the opposite, so the opposite of the opposite is still negative 4. Basically, you are finding the opposite of one number and then finding the opposite of that one again, which takes us back to where we started. Next, we are going to be looking at the absolute values. It says put the following numbers in order from least to greatest. My first step is going to be simply writing the numbers down, taking away the absolute value, or removing these lines. When I see these lines, it means how many units away from 0 is this number. So I can use this number line to help me do that if I'm not sure. Negative 3 is 1, 2, 3 points away from 0. So the absolute value of 3 is going to be 3. Absolute values are always positive. The next number is 5. It is already positive. I don't make it negative 5. Absolute values are always positive, and 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units away from 0. So it is 5. 6 is our next value. 0 is our next value. These do not have absolute value signs, so I can write them exactly as they're written. Negative 2 is my next value. It's 1, 2 units away from 0. So the absolute value is 2. And then I have negative 4. There are no absolute value signs, so I write it as it is written. Now, I have to write these numbers in order from least to greatest. So the smallest value. This can be tricky because we might see a number like 4 and think, oh, that's bigger than 2, that's bigger than 0. But the negative sign tells me otherwise. This is like saying, I have negative $4, or I owe someone $4. That is a lot less than having $2. And again, I can use the number line to help me. So my first value is going to be that negative 1, because that's the first one I'm going to come to as I move across the number line. Negative 4 is the smallest. I don't want negative $4. The next value is 0. It's better to have $0 than it is negative 4. And then 2. And I'm going to cross these off so that I don't get confused. I can remember now which ones I've used. So I still have 3. $3 or more than $2. And then 5. And finally 6. $6 is the most. Now, if one of these numbers, like 6, had been negative, then it would have gone over here, because that is even further away from 0 than negative 4. But in this case, our 6 was positive. So if you had to choose, would you want negative $4 or $6? $6 is what I would choose because I don't want to owe money.